Okay, so we're gonna go over to um, one of my favorite. In prison, this guy, he may have came out before I started listening to him, but I'm not sure. But he came out with an album called River of Fire, and his name is Young Bro, just how it's spelled, Young Bro, Bro, and he's with Kingdom Music. He's with Brian T and Antoine, all these guys out south um, in Texas, and I like all of them, but Young Bro's my favorite. Brian T's. I'm not taking anything away from either one of them, but you know, each person likes. I might like this artist because I like his voice, or I like his, you know, there's reasons I might not listen to this guy, but he's just as lyrically talented. He's just his message is just as powerful. I just might like this other guy's voice better. That's pretty much what separates it. You know, not taking anything from each artist. So let's play one that they all got together. Man, it's a toss up between which one I want to play first. But I think I'm going to play For the Father. It's Young Bro, Brian T, the whole crew's there. I wish I had better production. I'd show you the video. But remember this Young Bro, For the Father, featuring Brian T. And listen. Right away, different sound than you've ever heard. They're marching, oh, and chanting. And the song is so tough and rugged and raw. And the song is called For the Father. So they're doing all this for the Father, for Jesus, our Father.
I was in the streets full of hatred. I was in the streets where your seat we could take you deep in the basement. But they scream for the change, cause they breathe for the payback.
That's Young Bro.
Trying to get change, don't nobody wanna change that. Listen. Tell me why you really wanna entertain that. Trying to get payback. But you know that Christ came and he paid that. Boy, you thinking like a man, thinking like Adam. Better go deep, go.
He said, what you trying to get revenge? Don't you know Christ came and he paid that? You thinking like Adam and Eve. So, you know, for the, you know, I grew up in a bad place, okay? Just outside of Chicago, just south of Chicago. One year got rated the worst place to live in America. Pound for pound, it was the worst place to live in America. Just no hope, drugs, murder, high crime rate. It wasn't very big of a city, but there was just no hope there. And it was sad. And it still is, you know, and I love everybody back there. I'll never forget where I come from. But what Young Bro is saying is that, you know, and I'm going to say it if anybody's going to be listening to this, just in case you don't hear it in that message, I'm going to reiterate it to you. So he's saying for the youngsters that are out there hood banging, gang banging, selling drugs, you know, inflicting harm on people, bullying people, using guns and stuff to whatever, get away from that. You know, not everything's about revenge, and and not everything's about what you can claim and take from other people and how much money you can gain. You know, do you want to lose your soul in the meantime? Do you want to lose your soul in the meantime? You know, do you want your mama standing over that casket, having to pay to have you buried or cremated before you bury her? You know? Do you want your young kids you got? You want your little babies walking up to your casket talking about, when is daddy gonna wake up? When do I get my daddy back? When's he coming home? Is that my daddy? But you're dead. or you took somebody else's life for revenge, for territory, for money, for drugs, whatever it is, to look tough to your homeboy that ain't gonna die for you. But there is somebody, he's telling you, that died for you. He said, don't you know, boy, Christ came and he paid that? You're thinking like Adam. Adam blamed his wife, his partner, Eve. He said, God, she made me do it. You know, that's how we are on the streets, gangbanging and stuff. I got to ride out for the homeboys. You know what I mean? That's what I signed up for. But how many of them are going to put money on your books, accept collect phone calls, write you, take care of your baby mama while you're locked up 25 to life? How many of them? How many of them are going to kill for you? How many of them signed up to die for you? How many of them signed up to die for you? I know one that did. I know one that did. Only one. Only one signed up to die for you. And that's Jesus. So, you know, we need to stop thinking like Adam and blaming everything else around us and trying to be proud and accepting responsibility and trying to change the world around us. But it starts right here. And then it can go out into your young ones. You know, your babies that see you bagging that dope, that see you smoking that dope, shooting the dope, selling the dope, loading the clip. Our babies see all of it. My baby's seen me, my daughter, she's seen me getting high for years, seen it, you know. And then, you know, I just continued. And it's sad. But hopefully I'm making a change now. And, you know, I'll just tell you a quick story. Here I go again, off in the La La Land. But I had gave a lead about my addiction. Okay? I sold drugs at 14, 15 years old. But I like drugs. So it just became selling for my addiction. I could never be a successful drug dealer because I was a drug addict. And so I used to bring my daughter to the meetings and talk about my addiction. And I gave a lead. I told my story. I told my life story. What it was like before addiction. What happened that made me or forced me to get sober, or that gave me the desire to stop using drugs, and what it was like sober. All right, so I gave that story. And I used to bring my daughter with her little tablet and headphones. And so she was young, 5, 6, 7 years old maybe. She was real young. But they listen. They're sponges. They see everything we do. What are we teaching them? You know? Think about that while you're trying to ride out for the homeboy. You know, it don't make sense. Me getting high for years didn't make sense either. But, you know, I'm in the checkout at Walmart, and we're shopping. It's just me and my daughter. And my daughter might not remember this. I don't know. You'd have to ask her. But the lady at the checkout lady, the cashier, she says, "Hey, how you folks doing today? How you doing?" And I go, "We're doing good. How are you?" And my daughter goes, "Daddy, why don't you tell her how you've been shot, you know, on the news, and how you've been on drugs?" So I said, "Okay, honey." So I told her a little bit of my story, you know. And I just shared that because they hear everything. Our children hear everything. They see everything. And, you know, we buried my nephew, who was 19, and I don't know what happened, you know. And so for months, I'm just everywhere trying to find out what happened. It just didn't seem right. And I don't know if he said something to somebody, or he was making fun of somebody, or he was hating on somebody, or vice versa, or he just had a problem with somebody. I don't know. But, you know, I'm just going to say that it's, you know, it's God that's ultimately going to have that vengeance, and that's going to make that right if he chooses to, okay? But my question is, you know, it's all good, you know, it's all good, ha ha ha, we got you. If that's what happened, I don't know. But if that happened, you know, and people are running around saying, we got you, and talking, you know. But, you know, my question is, it's all good, it's all good, until it happens close to home. And and then how do you feel? You know, how do you truly feel? What if it happens to you? What if it's your brother? What if it's your nephew? What if it's your son? What if it's your father? What if it's somebody you love? And although they may have done something that upset someone, how are you going to feel about that? You know? Will that make you not want to do something like that? Or will you seek revenge, and but you had somebody that came and paid that price for you? You know? My nephew, he's in a better place. You know? Yeah, we're mourning down here. We're missing him. But it's kind of selfish of us, because we're all going to die one day. It's how we're going to be remembered. You know, if that happened to him, whatever happened, I don't know. But if somebody did that to him, how is that person going to be remembered? You know? They killed somebody. They're going to be remembered for that. There's still time to change, by the way. There's still time to change. If you feel bad about that, if you feel bad about taking someone's life, maybe my nephew's, you know, there's still time to change. Change your life. There really is. And you can say, oh, boo hoo, 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 hoo. You know, he's soft, he's soft. But, you know, I've been shot. I've been close to death. I've been in prison. I've been in fights with concrete surrounding me. Like, overmatched. Thinking that I could die right here if my head hit something. All of that. Like, you know, jumped on by 4 people. By 15 people when I was younger. So, you know, I've seen and I lived that life, and I've been a part of, you know, my clique when I was growing up. I've been a part of them jumping on 1 or 2 people, 10, 15 of us, you know, and it's not no life for people. You know, when I'm in county jail, and I'm going on and on, when I'm in county jail, and there's maybe 52 of us in the block, right? And you're a murder robbery block, and and so you're in there, and man, there had to have been, and I'm sure there's worse counties, but you know, it is what it is. You know, there's 52 of us, 52 beds, 26 cells, 2 bunks, and there's 52 per cell block, and there had to have been 30 murders in there, maybe more, double murders and murders, and everybody's running around there talking about I got an M, I got 2 M's, you know, like it's cotton candy at the fair, like they're just passing it out. And but let me tell you, when that 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old scrawny kid that's used to carrying a pistol, he's used to carrying a pistol on the street to protect himself, or he's used to running with numbers on the street, and that's the protection, and I'm okay with that. That's what you grew up with. I understand that. You know, I re- I won't live that way, but I can respect somebody that grew up into that, and that's all they knew until they get older, and then they realize they have to make a choice. What are you going to choose to do? But let me tell you, the fear I saw in some of them, you know, them youngsters, they'll kill you over nothing. Okay? Now that's when they're out on the street. Now I can't tell you how many youngsters come back from court. They got handed 65, 85, 90 years in a maximum prison. And to see the fear in their eyes, knowing that they're going to prison with people that aren't getting out, that are walking around 19 to 23 hours out the day, that are real killers. Real killers. Kill for sport. They're just killers, man. They're killers. And that's when you realize it's for real. That's when you realize it's for real. When they have blades this big and they ain't making no toothbrush knife. They're making blades this big and they're running them all through, boys. And COs don't care. COs will set you up. It is bad. And there's nowhere to run in prison. There's nowhere to run. I don't care if you're on death row, 23-hour lockdown. There's nowhere to run. They'll get you in SEG. They'll get you in check-in. If you check in and they want you, they'll get you. I'm not saying that you'll have any problems when you go to prison, but I'm saying it's not a life. It's not a choice you want to make to go and confront that and see that. You know, I wasn't at no max prison, but I was with boys that came from max prison that were straight thing, no play thing. They were different than the other ones that had never done time in a maximum. They didn't play games. You didn't play with them because they're not going home. They might have leveled down, but they're not going home. And my message to you is that, you know, please think before, you know, I've already forgave whoever has done that to my nephew. It's okay. It really is. It's okay. So, you know, if you want to change and go the other way, I encourage that. If you choose to stay on the path you're on, you know, I just want to paint that picture of it's either gonna end, you're gonna shoot or kill or hurt the wrong person, and one of their loved ones is gonna come after you or something like that, you know, and you think you're invincible, and you might wind up dead, or you wind up in prison for a long, long time with real killers that will pay. You know, I'm not saying you ain't tough or nothing. I'm just saying that, like, for the small guys, like, I don't care how tough you are at those bigger prisons, maximum prisons, somebody will buy you. They will literally buy you. They will negotiate over you and then take you. Now, yeah, you're going to be a man and you're going to fight. I understand that. But there's no fighting it if you're not bigger and stronger than them. There's no fighting that kind of thing. I've seen it. And so I just encourage you, you know, to choose the right path, man. Because prison, death, it's not It's not for anyone that was created by God. Alright? I got way off track. But I love you guys. Even the ones that are out there doing dirt. You still have time to change.
Deep in the chat, better give it talk to the max. Don't you know it's everlasting right now? Talk like I'm at the pit, yeah, the pit to the palace. I'ma give a mine, do it with the talent. Reaching for the lost, yeah, I'm reaching for the addict. Don't you know the freedom right here, you can have it. Give it up with every step that we got, with every breath that we got. The Holy Spirit is in me now. Give it up with every step that we got, with every breath that we got. I'm swimming inside the river now. I'ma do it for Jesus to follow his leadership, open up the word, you can read mine. I'ma do it for Jesus to follow his leadership, open up the word, let it read mine. I'ma do it for the Father. Give it up, I'm giving it up, pick up my cross up, I rise up, fellowshipping with the Father of heaven until my time's up. Yeah, I'ma do it for the Father. Give it up, I'm giving it up, pick up my cross up, they try to come cross us. I'm giving them Christ now, he's living inside us, it's all love. I'ma do it for the Father. Yeah, I'm talking about the only name to save, with every step that I take. Gotta bring the Father glory, gotta give him all my grace. I was deep inside of that grave, but Lord, you saw my face. Yo, I'ma sing another song. Hey, I'ma do it for the Father. I can relate the pain. I know you hate the pain. It's only so much one can take. I come to lift his name with every ground we gain. I never lose the game we make.
This is real hip hop.
I used to live insane, and now my brain to chain. Only for you the chains will break. Yeah, now I'm determined to finish the race. I give him heaven till eternity. You can find me in the middle of the church now. Blessed like Jesus Christ with the curse out. And man, I love it how I'm living so alert now. It's like I finally understand what I'm worth now. The 3 nails in the tree, he did it to set me free. You better believe I mean it whenever I say I'm free. The enemy better flee. I order you by the creek. The kingdom is now at hand. You better bow to his feet. Yo, it's okay if you say you broken, cause my God can heal you when your wounds are open. You know he knows you, so you got to know him. You know he chose you, so you know he chosen. Yeah, hallelujah to my Father. I make music for my Father. If you leave me, I'm a follow. I promise I'm a follow. Today and tomorrow, I'ma do it for the Father. Give it up, I'm giving it up. Pick up my cross up and rise up. Fellowshipping with the Father of heaven until my time's up. Yeah, I'ma do it for the Father. Give it up,
Alpha and Omega, the Holy Spirit.
Giving him Christ now, he's living inside us, it's all love. I'ma do it for the Father. Yeah, I'm talking about the only name to save, with every step that I take. Gotta bring the Father glory, gotta give him all my praise. I was deep inside of that grave, but Lord, you saw my face. So I'll sing another song. I'ma do it for the Father.
I'm gonna hit you with another one real quick here. Why? Because I can. How about stay focused, youngster? Stay focused. Block all this stuff out. Block them streets around you out. Block that drug dealing around out. Block those guns out.
You can try to tear me down, but it'll never work. I tell them to stay focused, I'm not folding. Keeping my ground in this living word. I tell them to stay focused, I'm not folding. Got no problem, yeah. I got God, yeah. I got God, yeah. I stay focused, keeping my eyes to the original one. I tell them to stay focused, I'm not folding.
Babylon.
Rolled up with this Bible on me. Gotta keep that tool on me, cause the enemy try to ride up on me. Gotta keep this sober mind, planting seeds on good ground. Practically ain't gon' roll up with us, no time to play, can't fool around. Hold the ground, this HG, KMF, it's all the same to me. Demons all in your neighborhood, so you better be what you claim to be. Living water gon' flow down, bread of life on that dinner table. Meditate on the word of God, let the word of God come and liberate you. My will for the Father's will, fell down but I'm climbing still. Fellowshipping with the Father now, in that third heaven you can find me here. Sing a song like David did, Christ came and he saved the kid. Elevation from the King of Heaven, man, look what all of these praise did. You can try to tear me down, but it'll never work. I tell them to stay focused, I'm not folding. Keeping my ground in this living word. I tell them to stay focused, I'm not folding. Got no problem, yeah. I got God, yeah. I got God, yeah. I stay focused, keeping my eyes to the risen one. I tell them to stay focused, I'm not folding.
God base on 10 toes, tunnel vision, no inroads. I was burgundy with that burner B. I had to hurt of me, but that been gone. I don't never fall like I'm starched up. You know all the days that I sparked up. Couple daily with the opposition. You think my position ain't locked up? Please, I keep it Jesus, bro. Only thing that you need to know, if it was beef from more, I had to heat the blow. But that's the weakest thing that you can teach your folks. Now I'm say, baby, no cap. God gave me that roadmap. GPS on how to lead the stress. Teach the youngest truth, that's why I go back. This the best of me, you want the recipe? Learn first or you was meant to be. Keep God first, stay in God's words. Little Proverbs and all Hennessy. Pass off and don't stop praying. Keep going hard, no parlaying. Hold the spirit like a part saying. Blast this in your car, playing this.
You can try to tear me down, but it'll never work. I tell them I stay focused, I'm not folding. Keeping my ground in this living word. I tell them I stay focused, I'm not folding. Got no problem, yeah. My God got me, God got me, yeah. I stay focused. Keeping my eyes to the
It doesn't matter.
I tell them I stay focused.
Father, as we gather today, 2 or 3 in your name. Reassurance you stay with us, know you never gon' change. Recalibrate our intentions and refocus our hearts. As we enter in your presence, we reflect who you are. In you, my strength is renewed. That's why I choose to obey. And in all my ways, I acknowledge you for the rest of my days. Shift our perspective to seek your peace above everything else. I put my faith inside your power, Lord, and not in myself. Lord, you're my refuge, you're my shelter, you're my shield and protector. It don't matter if they hate us, if the world don't accept it. Lord, you're so righteous and just. You correct us and love us. You sustain me, Lord, you change me. Let your peace rain down on us. Yo.
You can try to tear me down, but it'll never work. I tell them I stay focused, I'm not folding. Keeping my ground in this living word. I tell them I stay focused, I'm not folding. Got no problems, man. My God got it, my God got me. I stay focused, keeping my eyes to the risen one. I tell them I stay focused, I'm not folding.
Okay, so it may seem that we might be close to the end. So I just want to read, what was revealed about the end. Just a piece. It says in Revelation 21, 1 through 8. I'm not trying to be a preacher up here, but I don't know, something compelled me to say this, or to read this. And I saw a new heaven. I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the former heaven and the former earth had passed away, and the sea is no more. And the sea is the large mass of people that aren't going to be there. The ones that aren't going to have everlasting life and live forever with God. They're just going to be non-existent. They're not going to have that joy in living forever. Maybe seeing their loved ones for the rest of eternity. It says, And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the former heaven and the former earth had passed away, and the sea is no more. I also saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God. Coming down out of heaven from God. And prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So think about how that bride gets ready. She's got all her girlfriends and bridesmaids working on her hair and fluffing her dress, and every little piece of hair is just put just right, and so that's how this is prepared from God. And it says, I also saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, and prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. With that I heard a loud voice from the throne say, Look, the tent of God is with mankind, and he will reside with them, and they will be his people. So, definitely speaking to myself too, because think about that, about what we could be missing out on. What we could be missing out on. It says, and this is a voice from the throne, it says, look, the tent of God, the place God lives, is with mankind. He's chilling with us. He's coming down here to us. We're not going up there. It says, look, the tent of God is with mankind, and he will reside with them. He will reside. We'll be residents together, living together with God. Perfect, like we were created to be, like Adam was created to live forever. But then sin entered the world. And what had to come after that? That perfect ransom, that life for a life, Jesus. You know, Adam was like the first Jesus. He was created perfect. And then he sinned and it entered the world. So death entered the world along with it. So Jesus had to come along and pay for that. And he paid it. He paid it even when he asked his Father, is there any other way? And the answer was no. And so Jesus died for you. He died for you. How many people will do that for you? Look, the tent of God is with mankind, and he will reside with them, and they will be his people. And God himself will be with them. God himself will be with him. What's that going to look like? I want to buy a ticket. For real. I want to buy a ticket. But I can't. I have to earn a ticket. I have to earn a ticket. I have to earn a ticket. And he will wipe out every tear from their eyes. Every pain, every hurt you have. No more. And death will be no more. I think it's in Proverbs or Psalms it says that the righteous will blink their eye and all the wickedness will be gone. And, you know, and he will wipe out every tear from their eyes, and death will be no more. There'll be no more death. Everlasting life. Do you not want a part of that? I do. You know, if he came right now, would I make it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I've done enough. I don't think I've done enough. Do I live this? No, I haven't been. I haven't been living this. I haven't been living this at all. And he will wipe out every tear from their eyes, and death will be no more. Neither will mourning, nor outcry, nor pain be any more. The former things have passed away. The former earth, the former heaven. Earth's not going to go poof, and heaven's not going to go poof. They just mean that wickedness, death, pain, all this stuff will be washed away, and there'll be a new heaven and a new earth. McCrae says it. He says, new heaven, homie, new earth too. He says that at the end of one of his songs. But it's from the Bible. And the one seated on the throne said, look, I am making all things new. Also, he says, write. For these words are faithful and true. Remember, God doesn't lie. Not capable of lying. It also says, I just always think this is amazing. I don't know where it says it, but it says, God says, you can't even imagine. We can't even imagine. We can't even think. We can't even think of it. We can't even imagine what he's capable of. So just think about who we're dealing with and who we have a chance to live with in eternity, and that's going to reside with us and wash the former things away. Think of that right there. That if we can't even imagine, we can't even think it up in our heads what he's truly capable of, we get a chance to live with that forever. It's like the ultimate sports car or Benz or something that's just fully loaded, does everything, things that we didn't even think of. He says, "Write, for these words are faithful and true." So it's going to come true. Where are we going to be? Are we going to be written in the book? Are we going to be there? And he said to me, "They have come to pass. I am the Alpha, the beginning, and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To anyone thirsting, to anyone wanting new life, different life, change their ways, to anyone thirsting, I will give from the spring of the water. I will give from the spring of the water of life free." He will freely give you if you're thirsty. If you're thirsty for a new life, He'll give it to you for free. Anyone conquering will inherit these things, and I will be his God, and he will be my son. But as for the cowards, I was a coward. I was a coward a lot in my life. Okay? Now, when it came to proving myself when I was young, yeah, I stole from strangers. I might have robbed a drug dealer, broke into a house. But when it came to me on drugs and the shit I did, the stuff I did on drugs, I was a straight punk coward. I stole from my family, from my daughter, from her piggy bank. And I had to walk around with that on me all the time. And she got old enough to know. She got old enough to know. And when she would get money on a birthday card or something, she would open it. She would open it. It could be from me. She would open it and say, "Dad, you're not going to take this from me, are you?" That's a coward. That's a coward. Makes me cry. That's a coward. You know, and this is what he says about cowards. He says, "But as for the cowards and those without faith," those that don't believe that this is true, "and those who are disgusting in their filth and murderers," there's still time. If you've killed somebody, you can still repent and ask for forgiveness and turn from your ways. "But as for the cowards and those